Hey, you clicked on my video. Appreciate it. Now be sure to like the video and subscribe to the page. Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Outta My League. I'm Nick Diaz. There are two types of baseball seasons. There's tinker season and non-tinker season. And in a fan base like LSU that has a football-heavy mindset, that can be frustrating. It can be frustrating even if you understand the tinker concept wholeheartedly and embrace it. It's still frustrating. Even if you know that every game, should not matter as much as the next. Every game is not life or death like it is in football. Now, I said this about LSU's pitching staff early at the beginning of the season. LSU's pitching staff will be a lot like Kentucky basketball. They will take their lumps early and often with a lot of unknown young players, but by season's end, when the games matter more, they will finally hit their stride. But the important thing to remember about this is there is a cutoff point to tinker season. At some point, you have to move from tinker season to non-tinker season, and there is a cutoff point that you kind of have to do it. And if you miss that cutoff point, or you go past it, you get stuck tinkering in games that you shouldn't. But the only way to do that is by challenging the unknown early and often. So Blake Money, LSU's ace, something we do know, he is starting today at 3 o'clock against Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma, they're in the Big 12, but they're just an okay Big 12 team. But keeping Blake Money at his normal Friday spot, instead of doing what most LSU fans want Jay Johnson to do, which is save him for Saturday for a chance to beat the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns. Instead, they're keeping Mikael Hilliard on Saturday at his normal spot. And guess what? I'm going to tell you this right now. LSU will probably lose the game against Texas. They can, but they probably won't. And they would have a pretty damn good chance of beating Texas if Blake Money was saved for Saturday night instead of today at 3 o'clock against Oklahoma. But as much as it would be awesome for LSU fans to beat number 1 ranked Texas and do the horns down in their arrogant faces, it would also be a huge mistake because you are actually hurting your team long term. You don't challenge the unknown. And instead, you start challenging the unknown against SEC teams. Now, I remember watching American Idol back when it was, any good. And I also remember watching America's Got Talent a few seasons when they had Howard Stern. And one of the things that I noticed the similarities when the two shows were really getting good is when they had good judges. And the one piece of advice that the judges gave that was always the same on those two shows to people who quite weren't ready but had a lot of talent, the judges would tell them, you need to go get your ass kicked and then come back next year. You need to perform at local bars, clubs in your hometown, doing stand-up, singing, whatever, and you need to get booed off the stage and fail because you don't know enough about yourself. You skipped a step by coming here. Go get your ass kicked and then come back next year and maybe you'll be ready. Mikael Hilliard needs this. LSU's relief pitchers need this on Saturday. They need this because you are going to be relief pitcher heavy this season. That's just the nature of the pitching staff LSU has inherited. You don't have a number 2 ace that can go 7 or 8 innings like, say, a Blake Money probably will. I want to see LSU throw Hilliard, but I also want to see them throw 3, 4, maybe even 5 other guys against Texas as well. I want them to fail. They need to taste blood in their mouth. So by the time SEC play comes around and you're deep in SEC play, by that time, they'll love that metallic texture on their lips. I want them to be like a freaking vampire. Because right now, it's tinker season. And you need to embrace it. Thanks for listening to Outta My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook in the description link below.